Hello, lovelies. This is 5 Minute Manifesting, and I'm your host, Lovey Brown. Thank you so much for listening. I'm thrilled that you're here. And today I want to talk to you about whether something, your manifestation, or just things and circumstances in your life, can be meant to be. Now, this is a phrase that people use often, right? I mean, they often describe an event or something that just kind of worked out in the perfect way as meant to be. And so I want us to talk about what that phrase means and whether or not it's true. Are there things that are meant to be? And so this is my answer to that. And the answer is you're the one that gets to decide. So if there's something that you want, you can decide that it's meant to be for you. And if there's something that you don't want to be meant to be, then you don't have to accept that. But if you find the phrase or the idea, not even just the phrase itself, but the idea of some sort of meant to be ness out into the universe, out in the world, out in the 3D reality, or whatever place you want to think of it as, then if you find comfort in that, if you find hope in that, if you find inspiration in that, then absolutely adopt that and use that for your life. I sometimes find it problematic because someone will say to me, or in the past, I guess I haven't had this happen recently, that like, well, it just must be meant to be, or it must not be meant to be. And I think that's really the one that gets me where I don't choose to adopt this belief of meant to be that's outside of myself. Because sometimes somebody will say, well, it must just not have been meant to be. It's not for you, it's not your thing. And there have been times in my life where I have taken comfort in that. And if you're in a time in your life where you take comfort in something just not being for you, that you wanted, and because people really say that when it's something you want. So like say you didn't get a call back from someone, you went on a date with someone and it went really well, or you thought it went really well and you had a great time and you were really hoping to hear from them, and then you don't hear from them. And your friends or your family or someone who is attempting to be kind to you, attempting to comfort you, says something like, well, it must just not be meant to be. Well, that can have some comfort in that moment. Like, because the idea of it is that it is so completely out of your control that there's nothing you could have done about it. And that's really the opposite of what manifesting is. Now, there was a time, even when I manifested, even when I was a deliberate manifester, where I took some comfort in this idea of meant to be or not meant to be. But the more I think about it, I want to be the chooser. I want to be the decider. I'm deliberately creating my life. I'm deliberately creating the circumstances in some cases, although circumstances don't really matter. They're also not really in your control. There are parts of it, the how, right? In manifesting, we know the how is not our job. It's not in our control. But you can't influence it, I think, with your thoughts and with your focus. Anyway, I got on a little tangent there. My point is that if you want something, then go ahead and adopt the phrase, it's meant to be, if that phrase is helpful to you. If you want something, it is meant to be, and you are the chooser, you are the decider, you are the operant power. You focus in your internal world on being the person that has that, or is that, or, it is doing that, whatever the thing is, depending on what it is, then it is yours. And it will come into your 3D reality if you continue that focus. But if the opposite of the phrase "it's meant to be," if it means something to you is not meant to be, if that's also equally as true, like if something's meant to be, then something can be not meant to be. I would urge you to not accept that. And I don't mean not accept it in a way that you're fighting or you create a lot of resistance to your manifestation. I just mean if you want something, you don't have to accept from a place of pain, from a place of being denied that something is not meant to be for you, that you want. If you want something, I urge you to 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 own that desire. Own it and being honest with yourself. This is something I want. Own it and in your manifesting practice as something that you're going to focus on. Now, tomorrow we're going to talk about acceptance of what is, and we're going to talk about indifference. And I want you to remember this episode where I'm telling you, you don't have to let go of your desire. You just have to kind of hold it maybe a different way. And that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. And so I hope this was helpful. I intend that it was. It was helpful for me to think through. So with that, may you manifest exactly what you want.